this is Bonnie from Bonnie's Creative Place, and I'm here with card number 2 using the bundle Ring with Nature. So we're going to be using the decorative mask and we're going to be using the Ring of with Nature, and we're going to make card number 2 for our online class. So the first thing I need to get out of here is, this is what I store mine in. I have an old Stampin' Up! Case, and I just put these in it because this works really good for me. And then I have this little plastic, I don't know, it's a sticky thing. I got it online at Amazon. I have a link below in my description box that has this link there if you're interested in it. I just find it helps me to keep all my stuff in place. I'm not going to go into a lot of the measurements because they'll be on the written tutorial that I give you guys. So you're going to take your Whisper White that's in your kit, and you're just going to, I'm placing it just on this mat. There's no like set place. My mat gets a little nasty because sometimes I put tape on it. Sometimes I put paper around it, and then also ink gets on it. But you get like 3 of these, and you could probably wash them. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't had an issue with it yet. Now watch that I said that. I will have an issue. So I'm just going to put this down, and just for a little extra security, I end up putting a piece of tape up here, and I put a piece of tape at the bottom of this. It's Post-it note tape. You could use and there's a link for that in the description box below too. But if you didn't want to use that, you could use washi tape. If you have some washi tape, that would work too, just to hold it down a little bit. Even though this is sticky, it is starting to get a little unsticky. All right, this is the card, I should have said, that we're going to make. The only difference is this one says Happy Thanksgiving, and that stamp set is out of an old called Banner of Years bundle. I have a Thanksgiving card I want to send out to somebody, so I'm going to send this one. The one that I am currently making will say Happy Anniversary, because I think this would be a great anniversary card too. So yeah, so let's get started. First thing we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to put this piece of paper down. The inks I'm using is Pumpkin Pie, Copper Clay, and Pecan Pie. So I'm going to start with the Pumpkin Pie, and I am going to start with one of the blending brushes. This is one that I like to use for my pumpkin pie. And I'm going to start off a little bit just to get my pressure. I like to go over here and get my pressure. Okay, so we're going to take this, we're going to dam it up, get my pressure, and then I'm just going to randomly color these. Now for this one, I do want more pressure than I normally would put, but I want to really fill these in. I want this to look really dark in spots, and so I want, and as you could see, I'm going outward. I'm not going to get all of them. They're going to have a little bit of orange on them. Some are going to be a little bit darker in that area, but I'm not going to put a lot there. So I got that. Then I think I'm going to do a little bit up here in this corner. No two are ever going to be the same that you make. Like, I'm just showing you my technique, but your card is going to look totally different than my card. So don't think that you got to, you know, that it's going to look exactly like mine. I just put it in 3 different areas on the card. Okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab, let's do the Copper Clay. I'm going to grab the Copper Clay, and this is my Copper Clay one. Oh, I like to be on this side. So I'm going to grab it. I'm going to pull a little bit of pressure. See how much more that comes out? And I didn't put hardly any pressure after I dip it. Sometimes you don't have to dip your ink all the time. Because see how much more ink I get out of this copper one than I would normally get out of the... And I like how I'm blending these colors together. Do you see how like this orange and that is, I mean, I don't know if the camera is picking it up. I'll bring it up. That, I just love how that just works all on its own. So then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do a little bit up in this corner. And I'm kind of going over top of these ones, just the tip a little. But I like that. I think it adds to the card. Yeah, as I'm saying. So there we go. That's all I'm going to do with the copper. So we're done with that. And now I'm going to take the pecan pie. Again, I'm going to dab it in, brush it off. Dab it in, brush a little bit off. See, this one's not as, I have to work it a little bit more. So, yeah, see, I thought this was getting kind of unsticky. I think I'm going to grab my other mat for the next video. So we're going to put this down here. And I want this kind of dark in this area. And you could see like how the bottoms of this is a little darker than the leaves, and how I'm hitting a little bit of the orange leaf there, because I really like how that happens. Now I'm going to turn. Sometimes I just like to turn my whole project around to work. And then I'm just going to do this whole area really dark. So I'm really pouncing it in the ink because this one is a little bit lighter, it seems like, or maybe not as juicy of a pad. That might be a better way to say it. I probably have used a lot of this stamp pad. Look at that leaf right there. Isn't that pretty? I just absolutely love that in the leaf. Okay, it looks like I've done all my leaves, so now we could peel this off. And I'm going to go ahead, and when I peel it off this, it's just like if you have a Cricut, push it down and peel it off like that so that you're not getting the wrinkling. Ugh, I can't even talk. You're not wrinkling the paper. Now I'm going to go with the pecan pie again, and I'm just going to go like this around the edges. I want it a little darker in the corners, and I'm just going to keep going around. There, I think that looks good. So I did that. This will all lighten up. If you see the original, how some of the areas, the colors are, you know, just take a little bit to set. So that's what they're going to do. So this now you would take to your kitchen sink and you would rinse this off in the water, and it would be all ready for you to use again. So we're going to set that aside. Okay. So now we're going to actually get to the card. All right, I'm going to flip this over so it's not so distracting when I'm doing the card, but we'll be using that a lot in the next few cards here. So let's get this back in here. So now we have our base, and our base is a standard 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score it right down the middle at 4 1/4. There we go. Then we have our next layer, which is the pumpkin pie. And we're just going to take our tape runner here, and we're just going to add some adhesive to the back of this and put this right on the center, just like that. And then I'm going to take this and put this on the center of this right here, just like so. Okay. Now, I've got some linen thread here. We'll just get this little thing out of the way before I lose it. I leave a little bit of a tail, like that. And then I take my 4 fingers and I just wrap this around. And then you end up with the tail over on this side too. Then I'm going to bring my fingers out, grab both ends together, just like so. Now, if you don't have someone that can help you, you might have a pair of these tweezers that clip together. I clip it together, and this is my extra set of hands. Then you have a scrap, oh, there's 2 here. Then you have a scrap piece, a little short, not a scrap piece, but a short piece. And then you're gonna take this piece and you are going to, if I can grab the other end of it here, you're gonna use this as your hands. Go between the 2 pieces, and we're just going to tie a double knot. There's 1. And there is 2. Then you can unclip it. You could slide this to the center. Then you can move it from, you know, whatever way these ends want to fall, let them fall. It doesn't matter. You can kind of fiddle with it if you want and force it. You can make these bows, if you want one a little longer, you could pull it a little longer. You need one a little shorter, you can. So now we're just going to set that aside till we're ready to use it. All right. Oh, I forgot. We need to flip this back over. These were a leaf die cut that they gave us last year, and it came in that they were selling, and it came in with these little amber dies. I sell a bunch of these left. That's one thing I do with, if you join my kit, and if I have enough of one item that might have been discontinued or something, I will include it, all the stuff that I used. So you will get one of these, and you're gonna take your pecan pie and your brush again, and you're just going to brush around this just to give it a little color. Just sponge around your leaf. Okay, I think that's good enough. You can go darker if you want, but there is a difference. It may not look it in the camera, but they're definitely, like that's the back side where I didn't sponge, and you flip it over and you can definitely see a difference. So that's the front side. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some die cutting. I've got my platform 1, 2, platform 3. We're going to have platform 3 again. I've given you some scrap paper of the colors that I've got here. This is copper clay, and we need 2 of them. And then this is early espresso. And in your bundle, there's 2 of these types of leaves. You're going to need 2 of each of them, and then an extra long one. So we'll have to run that through. There's 2 of these leaves too, I didn't show you. So you're going to need 2 of them, and you're going to make them ones cut out in your copper clay. So I'm going to sit this over. I have an electric die cutting machine, so I'm going to sit it over on this, and I'm going to run it through. I will fast forward this. So now we'll bring this back in here. And kind of what I did was I took my liquid glue and up here towards the top, I took, you can easily tell that the longer one from the shorter one, this one's a little bit longer. So we have two long ones. So I'm going to take this long one. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive right on the bottom of this. Then I just kind of like, I don't know, I think I did it so it's like this. And I'm kind of eyeballing it on my, I'm putting it on the leaf. But I'm holding it down here to kind of get an idea. Okay? So then, let me get one of my silicone mats here so we don't get glue everywhere. Then I take this one, I do the same thing. I'm just putting a little glue down here for a minute. Yep. And then I'm going to pick it up. And like I said, no two are going to be exactly the same. All right. And then we're going to put this down here, just like so. Let's see. Then I grab this one and I put a little bit of glue on it and I'm going to stick it down here. Then I'm going to grab this one. It's just however and whatever leaves you want. Now I do like to have the copper, the darker one, kind of under the copper because I think it makes it pop off the page a little bit more. And then this little one I just kind of stuck here as a twig to go in a different direction. So I'm just going to put a little adhesive on the back of this one. Okay. Just like that. Now I want this to go right on here, over here towards the right hand side, just like that. So now I'm going to flip it over and I'm just going to add glue to the different places that I want it. You don't have to have it on all the places. Okay. And then we're going to stick this right down and over to the right. Okay. And then we're just going to leave it like that. Now we're going to bring in our two smaller pieces. This is a 2x2 piece of basic white cardstock. We're going to be bringing in the little house set that's in this stamp set. I'm taking pecan pie and I'm stamping the bottom part of the house, not the roof. Okay, and I'm going to just stamp this right down towards the bottom. I should have had my mat underneath here. Yeah, let me flip this over. Not this mat, this mat. Okay, let's do that again. Stamp that right down. Much better, much better. Okay. There we go. And then I am getting the color Pumpkin Pie. And we're going to stamp that up. And we are going to line this up. I like to bring it down so it looks like I'm almost, or that I am, overlapping the house and the roof. You know, they have that like little edge. That's like what I'm doing. Just like that. Okay? So now we have those. While I'm here and got the ink out, I am going to take this other short little piece, and for this one, I have the words Happy Anniversary, and that's in the kit. But if you want to use something else like I did on this one, I think this is a great Thanksgiving card, and you have a saying or something else, or maybe somebody got a new home just recently and it happened to be in the fall time, this would be a great, you know, welcome or welcome to the neighborhood maybe, or even if someone got a new house, this would be a great card for that. So now what we need to do is we need to do some fussy cutting. Let's get my mat out of the way. This house is so easy. It's basically a square. So you're just going to cut up it like so. Don't cut the trimly off, even though it looks like you want to. We're not gonna. And then we're gonna cut around this. There is one little edge here, but it's easy to cut this. I'm cutting this, and I'm even doing it without my readers on, which that says something. So we'll get rid of that paper. Now I'm going to come back in with just well, I'm not going to do it yet because I want to flip my paper over. I want to keep one side halfway clean here, or maybe I get another scrap piece in. And this I am just cutting out happy anniversary right around this like I always do. You don't have to do this. You could make a little flag. You could do whatever if you don't want to cut it out. Okay, so now let's move everything. Now let's flip this over so I can do a little bit more sponging on the back side of my paper. There we go. Bring the house back in. I think there's probably enough ink right on this. Yeah, there is. And I'm just sponging the edges to kind of hide some of that white a little bit. So I'm just going like this. Trying to do it all the way around it. And if you still feel like you see it, you could kind of go like this to it. You just kind of want to try, or you could get out one of the little sponge daubers, which I don't know. That one's not my color. Oh, here it is. I have this out from the other day. And you could go like this and even help it even more. This is a little thicker, stiffer than a brush, so you could easily, and I didn't even put anything more on this. It's just what was on it from a turkey I'm making. Videos to come. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get some Stampin' Dimensionals. Let's get a pack here that has some on it. And I am going to put down a couple of these. Actually, I think I want 3. There we go. And I'm going to put this right here so that the chimney covers up. You see in these leaves they have these there's a little hole in them. And I want this chimney to cover up that hole. So that's how we hid that. And then let's flip this over now again. Okay. Then we're going to take this and a glue dot. I don't know what I did with them, but I have some of these from I don't know what I did with my roll. And oh, here's my pokey tool. Just going to pick one of these up. I'm going to add a glue dot to the back of this. So obviously it's definitely easier if you're using the roll. Peel this one off, kind of put it around there. And I'm going to stick this like right kind of on the bottom corner of this house. Just like that. We're going to trim all this other stuff up in a minute. Now this, we're going to need some strips. So along the edge of they give you this extra, and sometimes I like to just save it to cut strips like this. And then I'm just gonna peel some of this off. Now you don't need it all the way across. You only need it probably, let me guess. Yeah, probably from the happy to the A. So we're just going to put that down there. And then I'm going to cut this, put it back on my paper for another card. And then we're going to peel this off. Because this is such a small area, I'm just going to use some liquid glue right here. There we go. And then I'm going to put this right across the bottom of this. Just like so. Then I'm going to take 3 of these little gems. I'll put one right here. And I take one of these big ones. I'm going to put it up here. And another little one. I'm going to put it right there. And then the last thing to do is decide how long you want your tails. And then you could trim some of them up. And that is card number 2 from my online class.